I'm Tim Gillard in the CBC Counseling Office here, meeting today with Mark Kleins from Truman State University, and in another of our series of video visits with college reps from all over the state and all over the country. And we're really thankful for Mark Kleins joining us today to help us learn more about Truman State. Truman State's definitely a school that we at CBC have awareness of for sure. You know, we always have interest in every class for a long time. Lots of interest about Truman State, and it's a great option for a lot of our guys. So the idea with these videos is just to get to know a little bit better and just to see our rep on the screen and have a way to reach out for you guys to learn more. So thanks a lot, Mark, for being here today.
My pleasure.
If you don't mind, maybe we could just start with kind of an overview of Truman State. What's Truman State like and that sort of thing? That'd be great.
Sure. Truman State University is a smaller public liberal arts institution located about 3 hours from here in the St. Louis area. So let me describe each of those pieces. We are smaller. We only have a little less than 4,400 full-time undergraduate students. That gives you, as students, an average freshman class size of 25 and a student-to-faculty ratio of 14:1. Those two things are important, at least in my mind, because very similar to there at CBC High School, you will get to know your faculty and they will get to know you. The difference is at the college level, you will see your doctored faculty your freshman year, as we have no graduate assistants teaching. So they will get to work with you from beginning to end, freshman to senior, watching you grow, seeing your academic strengths, your extracurricular activities, potentially talking with you about career choices, major choices, do we need to change majors, etc., as well as just getting to know you personally. So I think that being a smaller school, even though we're a public institution, is very important and very beneficial for students in their success hope of when they go to college. We are a liberal arts and science school. We are the only public institution in the state of Missouri that's designated as a liberal arts and science curriculum. So what does that exactly mean? That means, yes, the standards. You will be required under our dialogue course requirements to take so many hours in your physical science, in your mathematics, computer science, in your public speaking, in your critical writing, in your social sciences, psychology, sociology, history, a fine arts class, a foreign language, unless you have college credit coming up in any of these areas, we can work with that. You have to have what we call social student society classes or society student classes. I don't remember the exact title of it. So you have to have a wide range, approximately 50 to 60 credit hours out of your required 120 to graduate will come out of these dialogue curriculum. Okay. Why is that important? To me, being a graduate of liberal arts institution and working my entire career in a liberal arts institution, it gives students a well-rounded and a well-grounded academic background for whatever their career choice might be. And I'm just going to pick on biology and the pre-med students, phenomenal students across the board. One complaint that many of us have about dealing with doctors, whether they're dentists or whatever doctors, is they speak a different language than we do. They don't know how to communicate with us and vice versa because they speak in medical jargon, which is what they're trained in. Coming from a liberal arts and science curriculum, knowing that they have to have, whether it be the communication, the oral communication, the public speaking, or the communication advocacy class, they have to learn how to speak and how to do presentations, both verbal and PowerPoint or whatever. So the students that graduate from Truman State University who are going on to medical school or anywhere other career, they know one of our objectives is to have them graduate as an effective communicator, whether it be verbal, writing because of critical thinking, or again, PowerPoint video presentations such as this. So
Mhm.
that's one big key that we strive for with our graduates under the liberal arts. Problem solvers. We, as a liberal arts education, you learn to solve problems both in your classroom as well as in your everyday life. Because you're taking so many different classes and so many different academic backgrounds, you're going to have to take a math class. Regardless of whether you like math or not, coming out of high school, you're going to have to learn how to deal with this problem, not only in the classroom, but overcoming this fear, if you will. Because of our small class size, there's a lot of collaboration with our students, with each other, and with our faculty. And they learn to solve problems, whether it be the academic research type class problem, or whether it be how to deal with COVID-19 and how to deal with classes online like we all have done this year in some way, shape, or form. How to learn how to deal with roommates or 30 other people on the floor if I'm a single child, single young man. So all of these things we want our students to graduate with as problem solvers. We also want them to graduate and the liberal arts becomes critical thinkers. We understand we're going to have problems. We understand that in the medical world, there's going to be issues. As a critical thinker, we want and teach our students how to think outside the box. And again, this year is a prime example with COVID, myself included. We've had to learn how to think outside the box to recruit students. The traditional on-campus visit or showcase day did not happen this year. So as a liberal arts background in school, we teach you the skills to critically think and evaluate problems and come up with solutions to the problem. Let's not just tell us this is the problem. Let's talk about solutions to the problem. And that's something that every employer is going to look for. I know our problems. Tell me how to solve our problems. Going back to the problem solving. Now you've presented to me your boss. You've critically analyzed our problem. You've told me about the problem. Now I need you to present this problem, AKA an effective communicator, to the rest of our constituents to get everyone on board. Those are the three basic things that we try and instill into all of our graduates coming out of Truman State University as a liberal arts education. We are located in Kirksville, Missouri, about 3 hours from down here in St. Louis. There is a big difference between St. Louis and Kirksville, Missouri. I will not deny that. First, we are about 3 hours. So for me, it is a good distance. I live here in St. Louis area. I think it's a great distance for students who need or want to get away from home, but yet be close enough. When CBC students play on a Friday night football game, whether it be against DeSmet, Vianney, or SLU, you're going to want to come home for that game. Well, you can have class until 2 o'clock Friday afternoon and still make it home in time for the big game. And so that's a really cool thing. And still then come back on Saturday morning for our football game. Yeah. So it's a very good, unique location distance-wise.
Far enough away to feel like you're away from home a little bit too. It's not down the street, so, your parents aren't going to be coming around the corner every, once right. to see how things are going. But when you need to get home for, mom's lasagna on a Friday night, you can
do it.
Do that.
Bring your laundry home. Absolutely.
Yeah, 3 hours is kind of a nice number.
Exactly. But there is a difference between Kirksville and St. Louis, and I am the first one to address that. I have no problem with that. We are a smaller community. Kirksville, Missouri is about 17,000 students, 17,000 residents. We are the largest community in a 90-mile radius. The next largest communities would be Columbia, Missouri, 90 miles away. Hannibal, Missouri, 90 miles away. Des Moines, Iowa, about 150 miles away. Kansas City, St. Joe, 150-ish miles away. So we're it. So yeah, you have to adapt to a smaller community. But I can tell you with over 230 different groups, clubs, and organizations on our campus, you are encouraged and invited to get involved, just like you are there at CBC. We want to produce not only academic students that, again, fall back to the other three, we want student leaders. And that's one of the reasons why we have so many different groups, clubs, and organizations on campus, to give you those opportunities to do different things on campus. We have the concerts, we have the comedians, we have the guest lecturers, we have all those things. We are a member of NCAA Division II athletics, very competitive in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. So we have all those things going along with it, wide range of rec sports and intramural sports, but it is different. We are a smaller community, but it's an awful lot of fun.
Yep. And then I'm noticing some of the numbers that surround you as you're sitting there, and I've seen you refer to a few of them already. Maybe I could ask you about a few of the others that
Sure.
I can't quite read or make sense of. But I see the 14-to-1. I imagine that's the student to faculty to student to faculty ratio.
Correct.
And then I see the 230 plus. That's probably activities and organizations. I think I
Correct.
heard that one. What about the 97% above your right shoulder there? What
Sure.
does that
97% of our students receive some type of institutional aid, not just financial aid. So if you're coming to Truman State University, you're more than likely going to get some type of institutional aid, whether that be a true merit academic scholarship, some type of competitive scholarship, or maybe just need-based foundation type scholarship. We're going to do everything we can to make it affordable. And that's the great part about being a public institution. As mentioned, we're a public school cost. Our cost for the fall 21-22 school year for room, board, tuition, and fees, everything, a little bit less than $18,600.
Wow, that's really a number. And then you put in 97% of the students get aid to help with that number. You're
Correct.
already starting at, if you have to pay full, that's very reasonable. As soon as any of you who aren't aware do any research, you'll see that 18 number and it'll take your breath away a little bit after looking at some other schools.
And I'll put it in perspective. And
Yep.
How much is CBC? We're very close to the sticker price of CBC as well.
Yep.
You know, so
Very
you're
close.
getting everything here, where in reality you're only paying tuition at CBC. So yeah, it's very, very similar cost to what you're paying to go to school there.
And along those lines, we always suggest, and it'd be great to hear from your perspective too, the free application for federal student aid. I think I see that reference there above your shoulder too. Why that's a good idea for families to complete.
Sure. There are two things that are very important with the free application for federal student aid. Number one, it's free. And number two, it doesn't hurt you in any way, shape, or form. Many parents have the fear that, and my father was this way, that if I fill out this form, other members or other parts of the government, the IRS, are going to come get me and blah, 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 blah. And that's a false statement. Number one, it's free. So it doesn't cost you anything. And if you go to the right website instead of the wrong websites, it is free. Sometimes you may go to the wrong website. And I will also give this other piece of advice. Never, ever, ever pay anyone to do the FAFSA for you. It's free. We at the college level, the high school level, we will help you fill out the FAFSA form for free. And number two, it's no harm, no foul. I deal with students and families that say, well, we just make too much money for that. And that may be true, but we don't know because there are so many variables in determining who is eligible for federal student aid and who is not, that after 30 years, I still don't know all the variables.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is a couple things that we may know right up front. We may know you're not eligible for the gift aid of the federal financial aid program, which would be the Pell Grant. Realistically, that is very hard to get, and that's what it is. But you may be eligible for work study, or your son may be eligible for work study. They won't get it unless they fill out the FAFSA form. Students may be eligible for student loans. They will not get any of that unless they fill out the FAFSA form. This is not a form, I can speak on behalf of Truman State. This is not a form that determines how much scholarship money you're going to get. It is not that. You earn your scholarship money based upon your academics, your activity resume, your essay, things like that. It is not based upon the FAFSA form. So I encourage every family to fill out the FAFSA form anytime after October 1st, their senior year. You can code up to 10 schools at a time. You can change, you can add down the road. It is a critical piece, I believe, and most college reps will tell you, it is a critical piece just as part of your admission application process to the college search process.
Thanks, that's really helpful. So we've learned a lot already. And then on Truman State School, public school, but a little bit different in terms of the admissions process and the selectivity when compared to other state schools. Can you talk a little bit about the students who are a good fit there and students who are appealing on the college side as applicants? Who are you looking for, and how does the admissions work?
Sure. Let's start with first how the admissions works. We are part of the common application process. So our application, whether you do the common application or the Truman State application, is free. Anytime after, I think Common App is going to open up July 1st. Ours is going to open up, I believe, June 1st, but potentially July 1st.
Okay.
The process is pretty simple. We need the application. We need a copy of our high school transcripts. We need an essay, and we need an activity resume. At this stated date, April 29th, 2021, as of today, we are requiring either the ACT or the SAT for the fall class of 22.
Okay.
That may change.
Yep. If that changes, we will let you all know, because Mark will let us know and we'll let you know, and Mark will probably let you know as well.
Yes. Yeah. We were test flexible this year. There was a lot of confusion with that. There has been some people on campus that want us to go back to mandating the test. That's the reason why today we are saying that. As we are going through the rest of the spring and in the summer, we are finding more and more of our state school colleagues that are going back to test optional. I would not be surprised if we follow suit, but as of today, we're going to require it.
And just a note on that, for students and families, for any school you're wondering about this exact thing, all colleges are going through this decision-making process. Some have already announced that they'll be test optional for next year. Some haven't. Some were just quite not sure yet about what it will be for class of 2022 out of high school. But you can always, this is easy information to find right on any college's admissions website, and Truman is the same. This is being recorded in late April of 21. But anytime you want an update for any college, including Truman, just go to the website and click on admissions and it'll be made clear to you right there.
Correct. We do, as I mentioned, require the essay and the activity resume. And those two pieces are important, not only for admission, and I'm going to get to that, but also for the competitive scholarship process. So we do want the application, or we do want the essay and the activity resume as part of the application process, because your application file rolls right into the competitive scholarship file. So you don't have to do anything more. So now let's get to the heart of your question. What kind of students are we looking for and who are successful? And first of all, we are on a holistic approach. We will look at the application. We will look at every grade that you have. We will look at your essay. We read each and every one of them, and we will read and examine your activity resume along with the test score. That's what we do. What our guidelines are, if you will, and these are very, very loose in terms of this. Generally speaking, we look for students with a 3.2 or above GPA, whether weighted or unweighted doesn't make any difference, and roughly a 22 or above ACT score. That does not mean students who have a 3.1 or a 3.0 and a 21 or a 20 have not been admitted, because they have, because of what they've put in their essay. Or maybe we find out that there's been an issue especially with COVID, that, I just was not a good virtual learner or whatever the situation is. So we will evaluate each one individually. So don't think if you have that 21 and that 2.9, oh, I shouldn't apply. You can.
And this is what Mark means by, and when you hear from colleges, when you hear that they say they evaluate students holistically in the process, as Mark said, that's what holistic means. They don't just look at a couple of factors and set up a spreadsheet and then eliminate everyone below a certain threshold and admit everyone above a certain threshold. Holistic means they're taking into account all the things that make you the unique individual that you are as best they can on a college application. And then they make the decision from there, including the specific parameters of test scores, maybe, and things like GPA and that sort of thing.
Correct. When we talk about our average ACT score, it's 27 and a half. Mm-hmm. Our average GPA is just about a 3.8. Our students, and this is a great question because there is a misperception about Truman State University. The misperception is that if I don't have a 26 or a 27 or above ACT, I can't get in. Or if I don't have a 3.8, I can't get in. That is very false. The bread and butter, the students that we think have the potential and who have shown to have the best potential for success, students in that 3.4 to 3.7, 3.8 GPA range, and those students that have the 22 through 26 have been very successful at Truman State University. Obviously, yeah, we have high criteria. We used to be, and we don't sell it anymore, but we are a highly competitive school. I'm not going to deny that. Mm-hmm. But we accept probably, and looking at the numbers, we accept 70 to 75% of our applicants. Mm-hmm. So we're not in a position, and we don't ever want to be in a position to be a student that we want you to apply so we can deny you. We want students who apply who we believe can succeed. And that's what we're looking for. That 23 to 26 range student is very successful. Yeah. What characteristic are we looking for in a student is even more important. If you are a student that manages your time and has self-discipline and understands how to study and how to take notes in the classroom, those are the characteristics we're looking for in a student. Sometimes I hear students say, again, going back to the activity resume, I don't have time to get involved because I have to work. And maybe I come from a single parent family. I have to work 20 to 30 hours a week. But I'm maintaining the 3.5 GPA. But I work so much, I didn't get enough sleep for my ACT, so I only have a 21. Well, if a student is going to school full-time at a competitive school like CBC, they're working 20 to 30 hours a day, they're maintaining a 3.5 GPA, that tells me they have self-discipline, time management, and the study and note-taking skills that will make you successful. Mm-hmm. Those are the types of students, the characteristics we're looking for in the classroom. We're also looking for student leaders who are involved. We know students coming out of CBC, I know because I'll say this, I'm a St. Louis U High graduate, so don't hold that against me. But I know how involved we are as students when I was in high school in all the different things and how easy it is to become involved and become a leader. Those are the things we're looking for, whether it be through CBC or through your church or again through your job, whatever the situation is. Those are the characteristics. Standards, if you will, 3.2, 22. But that 23 to 26 range do great. Those 3.3s to 3.6s, 3.7s do great. We're going to get our share of the 27 pluses and the 3.8 pluses. But if you're in that bread and butter, we've got a spot for you at Truman State.
Awesome. And then thanks so much, Mark, for all this info. It's great because we so often hear from students who have interest in Truman or they're wanting to learn more about Truman. They already know things about Mizzou and Missouri State and Missouri S&T, but they're not quite sure they want to learn more about Truman. when they have questions, you guys know you can always come up and talk to your CBC counselor about anything related to life after CBC. How would they reach out to you, though, to learn more about Truman specifically?
Sure. And above me in the blue box is my contact
Oh, there
information.
it is. Yeah.
Well, but I will state it, and we can write it down. My phone number, I'm regional. I live out here actually in St. Charles County.
Okay.
My direct cell phone line is 660-341-1565. So I can accept text, phone calls, whatever. My email address is mclynes@truman.edu. Both of these things can be found on our website. Contact me directly. I'll be more than happy to one-on-one work with you. You can contact the admission office directly as well. Go to our website, truman.edu. Everything's on there. But if you want a specific one-on-one contact, feel free to reach out to me directly. I am also setting up and have set up many what are called calendar meetings, which are similar to this. These are individual family Zoom meetings. On my signature page, on my email that I would respond to you with, you could click right on my calendar and set up a calendar meeting with me one-on-one at any point in time to discuss any questions that you have.
Yeah, and that's highly advisable, guys. When you hear that from a rep, that's something to really take advantage of, and it's a wonderful thing that the school offers to show your interest in the school. And just like completing the FAFSA, there's no downside to that. You know, by meeting with Mark, you're not promising him to apply to Truman State or anything like that. You're just seeking information, and he's happy to provide that for you. So we really encourage you guys to take advantage of these great resources. And Mark, thank you so much for your time today. We have a lot of great information here, and we're happy about the relationship we have with Truman. And Truman is one of those schools, guys, that it's just kind of easy to work with Truman. They're great about dual credit. They're great about helping you figure out how to afford Truman. And they're very accessible and reachable. So we appreciate that. And thanks for your time today, Mark, very much.
You're more than welcome. Thank you, guys. I look forward to working with you in the future. I know we have 4 or 5 or 6 students coming up this year already, and always looking for more.
Pretty consistent pipeline from CBC, Town and Country CBC to Kirksville, Truman.
Yes, very much. You know, and I drive right up 40/61 to Hannibal and across. It's an easy drive, 3 hours any way you slice it.
Nice. Well, thanks again for your time today, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Sure, I'm going to go ahead and